Happy Victory Monday. Let's talk about the first preseason game. You gonna hit the intro, or are we just gonna go right into it?
Cut the intro.
All right, well, early season technical difficulties, but thank you everybody for joining us here on this beautiful Monday. Vikings pick up the first preseason win. A lot to talk about, a lot to break down for this game. First off, anybody that's in here, though, we are 47 subscribers away from 2,000. So make sure to tell your friends to hit that sub button if they haven't already. We'll mention it multiple times throughout this show. As we mentioned last week, once we get to 2K, big giveaway that we're planning here as well. Drop a like on the stream if you would as well. And yeah, let's kind of get into this game here. I guess before we do that, though, are you all settled in down in Denver yet?
For the most part, we got like our coach and shit like that, and that's kind of what I was mostly waiting for. We had to buy a bunch of furniture, all that good stuff. So hey, we're getting there. We're getting there, which feels good. It's nice to kind of that stability is nice and kind of build a routine. It's going to be a lot easier for our podcast here for sure. But like you said, almost to 2,000 subscribers. I am working on some cool giveaways right now, which we should find out. Hopefully I have something to show everybody the next time we're on as far as like what we're going to give away when we're at 2,000 subscribers. But until then, we can get into this game. But I want to do some shout outs. We got some guys in the building. And Dalton, I've got a question. Do you know who the highest graded rookie in the NFL was last week? I'll give you a hint. He plays for us. Actually, the funny thing is I have the PFF stuff up, or I have the PFF stuff on my computer, and I'm going to screen share those in a little bit here. So we'll find out. But I know exactly who you're talking about. And I believe, I don't know. I don't know if it was his birthday. Something. He had some sort of Twitter thing. What are you laughing at over there?
You're a little frozen on my screen here. But it's quite the day. It is quite the day of little. Oh, and I believe he's gone. Okay, but I think he's going back. Yeah, I guess I'll get into some of my thoughts. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. Now you have no. Now you have. Oh my goodness, this is cursed. This is chocolate. Hey, there we go.
There we go. All right. Hopefully we're good. I don't know. Maybe Colorado sucks for this. I think I need to get a new laptop soon here. Anyways, before moving on, though, I want to do some shout outs here. Well, I guess I already said that. Dalton in the building. We got Nick in the building with the Brosmer. It was not Brosmer, actually. It was not. I highly love what I saw from Felton and caught both targets. Big fumble force on special teams. Gabe Murphy was eating. Yeah, we're going to jump into all of that in a little bit here. We got Bleeding in the building. Hey, Nick, what's going on? We got Barber in the building. What's going on? Skol for life, Barber. Who else we got in here? I think that's it for now. And then, yeah, of course, everybody. I mean, we always got to mention Skol Fest. And speaking of Skol Fest, we do have a sponsorship. If y'all have seen with Rap's channel, I know he's been pushing it pretty hard, but all of us, we got a shared sponsorship with Custom Grains where we do have, especially for the people who aren't going to make Skol Fest, I'll probably drop this promo a couple times, but for especially people who aren't going to make Skol Fest, we do have Skol Fest swag in the description below. You just hit that link and pretty good deals. So I definitely recommend some of that over there. So no lie, Khalif Halisi, to be honest, his game was meh. Sure, 2 interceptions that went right to him, but also of that he was kind of mad, missed a tackle. Interesting, because I thought there was a couple other pass breakups that he had that I thought was worthy of looking more into as we continue going here. But jumping into this preseason game, what do you think, Casey? What's your initial thoughts here?
I think, as we talked about actually right before this, I think I come away from this game. My main thoughts, I feel really good about the quarterbacks. Receiver depth is questionable. As we kind of already knew, especially after the Rondale Moore injury. I'm happy with the offensive line. No Darisaw out there, but I know Donovan Jackson had a couple rough reps, but overall solid. Will Fries looked the part. I know they showed he picked up a nice stunt there. On one of the passing plays with McCarthy out there. So overall offensively, I feel really comfortable with where we're sitting there. The first drive on the defense was not great. I mean, obviously, when you got to the backups, they kind of settled in a little bit. And again, we do have to remember no Van Ginkel, Grenard, Allen, or Hargrave.
Right.
So the defense was a little rocky, but overall, they cleaned it up later on. The backups did, so I felt overall solid. But I guess, I mean, the main talking point in this game, I mean, we'll talk about it later, is McCarthy. But I guess overall, your thoughts on how this preseason game went? Because I went away feeling very happy, very happy with what I saw for the most part.
I would say, like you said, like the biggest disappointment, I guess, was probably the defense that was out there in the beginning. But again, like that's not even most of our starting defense. So, I mean, you have to take that with a grain of salt. And then, yeah, I see this by Nick. And yeah, we'll get into all of that. And we'll actually, once we get to winners and losers, we can really dig into some of these players. But I did kind of want to just go through some of these stats here. And like I said, I have the PFF up here. So we'll go into some of this stuff real quick. Starting with just general stats, I kind of want to take a peek at. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of us have already kind of looked into all of this, but let's see. Switch to. Oh wait, got to take that off first, huh? Boom. Okay. So just some stats here. You got Sam Howell, 11 completions on 13 attempts, 105 yards. Max Brosmer, 5 completions on 8 attempts, 47 yards and a touchdowns, which sucked that, we thought we were going to get an entire extra drive out of him, which didn't happen because of a botched snap. But yeah, obviously big game there. J.J. McCarthy, 4 for 7, 30 yards. Brett Ripon, 1 for 4 for 6 yards. Xavier Scott, 7 carries for 40 yards. Jordan Mason, 4 for 20. And then you got Trey Stewart, 3 for 10. Ty Chandler, 5 for 5. 5 carries, 5 yards. Still better than Ashton Jeanty, though. Ashton Jeanty. I always like when someone like that, someone like Ashton Jeanty comes in, has his first game, gets -3 yards, and then all the tweets come out saying, I have more career yards than Ashton Jeanty and stuff like that. So I don't know. I always think that's kind of funny, though. I still think he's going to do pretty good. I know a lot of people already counting him out after a few preseason snaps. Jordan Addison, 3 receptions, 33 yards. Lucky Jackson, 3 receptions, 30 yards. Ty Chandler did look better in the receiving game, 3 receptions, 20. As you can see, the rest of them here, won't go through all of them there. Where's the sacks? You got 1.5 sacks from Gabriel Murphy, half a sack from Bo Richter. You have do they not add interceptions here? That's kind of crazy. Anyways, we'll go into some PFF stuff real quick. Let's see here. I'm just going to do entire screen. All right. On offense, this is who Delton was talking about, I believe, and that was Joe Huber, right guard. I'm assuming, I guess I don't really know if he's a rookie for sure, but I'm assuming that's who he was talking about. Wonder if we get anything from here. Yep, draft year 2025, free agents. So obviously, interesting enough, like going into this game, and we'll get into it in a second here, but going into this game, as far as undrafted free agent linemen, I know the one that everybody's been waiting for and talking about was Logan Brown, who seemed like he had just kind of like a type of game. And you end up having a guy like Joe Huber come in. Yeah, it's preseason, but having a really good game. A 94.7 offensive grade overall with 55 snaps. That's really nice to see, especially where people are worried about your guard depth and have been worried about guard depth and things like that. So it's nice surprise to see someone come out and kind of step up in that way that Joe Huber did. What is your thoughts? Any thoughts there yet?
On the offensive line or Huber in general, or
just offensive line? Because you can I'll even throw Michael Juergens in here because he had the second highest on this team. But
yeah, because obviously I had seen that did well up front there. I mean, PFF grade wise, but I know he did. I believe he was the guy that had both the botch snaps. The first one, obviously, Howell was able to recover, but the second one did turn into a turnover with Brosmer out there. Which, I mean, cool. I mean, if you're grading out, fine, but you can't have those turnovers, especially if you're going to be the primary backup center behind a center who does have an injury history in Ryan Kelly. So again, the grading looks good, but I mean, those 2 snaps, you do got to count those against him in my mind. Yeah. But overall, again, I've said it before, I feel really comfortable with his offensive line depth. I do.
Yeah.
I think the starters are going to be awesome. Skol was out there. He looked good to start. Mm-hmm. I mean, hopefully Darius is ready to go week 1. If he's not, I think Tyler School's going to be a good replacement in there. Donovan Jackson, a couple rough reps, but overall kind of held his own. And we kind of saw what we expected out of Kelly, Fries, and then Brian O'Neill as well. So,
welcome in Jim NFL 7. What will he say? My team won't make the playoffs. Come on. My team won't make the playoffs. Come on. Are you saying I know, Jim, you're the one that's in the comments always being a pessimist or being a downer, right? Am I right on that, Casey? Does that look familiar? Maybe not.
I have no idea.
Oh, I thought, yeah. I don't know. Let me know if that is. I swear you just come in and troll all the time. Mark, Phil in the build. Mark, you're going to Skol Fest, right? You gotta be. I'm sure you are. Welcome in, dude. Welcome back. I'll say playoffs for Vikings, but beyond that, your guess: Eagles and Ravens, Lions twice. No easy schedule. Yeah, sure. Maybe I'm wrong about you, Jim. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought for a second. Hey, Adam with the reposted. Adam, I didn't know it would tell you that. Interesting. Welcome in, Adam, my guy. FT Maddie in the building. Hey, y'all. What's going on, FT? Let's go. Jergens is for every trash can. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to keep going down, though, because there is a lot of offensive linemen. And speaking of other guys, other offensive linemen that was drafted in that same draft, Walter Rice with the 78.4, and it does sound like he had a very solid day himself. Jordan Addison, I can talk about him all day and how good he is. And obviously, we all know that he's going to be suspended for the first 3 games of the season, but that chemistry between him and JJ McCarthy is absolutely real. So I'm excited to continue seeing them play together. You got Miles Price down here, 76.8. And then some bigger names. Xavier Scott, I thought you'd be a little bit higher here. I guess he had really bad pass blocking grade. Sam Howell, after everything we've heard about him, it's nice to see him coming in with a 75.8. Jordan Mason looks really solid. Just going down to the bottom here, you have Silas Bolden at the very, very bottom, which I didn't really know he did that bad. He looked like he had some moves on punt return, kind of danced around a little bit too much. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Rondell Moore out. Jamie Trash Keepers. That is actually not true. Chase Brown for 11th and Brian Thomas Jr. for 12th. No way. Some other big names down here. You got Will Fries towards the bottom here, the 50.9. TJ Hawkins at 52.3. Obviously, just one drive. I talked about Logan Brown earlier, 55.9. He did have an 81.1, which I believe is pass blocking, and then 36.5 in run blocking. And then other big names, Ty Chandler, 54. Where is... Oh, other side of the ball. Let's jump to defense here. At the top, you got Gabriel Murphy with an 80.2. Elijah Williams, which he kind of made some noise for sure. Another undrafted free agent guy, I believe, 79.9. Dorian Mousey, 78.5. We're getting into the third stringers for sure here. Ambry Thomas, 75.4. There's Khalif Halisi, just still trying to learn his name after a 2-interception game. And then going towards the bottom here, Theo Jackson all the way at the bottom, which is interesting because he's kind of a preseason darling when it comes to PFF with the 38.3. Eric Wilson, 38.4. This shows you kind of what that defense was looking at, like 42.4. Levi, Drake Rodriguez, 47.3. Jeff Okudo, Bo Richter, Dallas Turner. Kind of rougher games for all these guys on that first drive defense. And yeah, so that's kind of what the PFF grades look like.
Yeah, I guess obviously the thing that everybody wants to talk about when it comes to the preseason game, and it makes the most sense too, starting with the quarterback, JJ McCarthy. I guess immediate, just kind of quick thoughts on it is, yes, did he miss a couple of throws? Yeah. Was he a little bit inaccurate? Sure. But I went into this game, and I think this is the way that they went about it as well, to where they just wanted to see that he was confident in the knee. He was confident in the offense. He could go out there, run the team, run the huddle, get in and out of the huddle, get up to the line, call the play, execute. And for me, for everything that I thought I needed to see out of him to be like, okay, he can go into this season and find success, I saw that. Look, the throw to Lucky Jackson is the fastball they've been talking about all camp long. I think he was just a little bit too amped up. First game action over here. Anybody would be the same way. But that rollout to the left, hitting Addison. I even think I know some people thought the kind of the diving catch by Addison was a bad throw. I mean, Donovan Jackson was tripped by Ryan Kelly and being pushed right into his lap. He was still able to put it in a spot where only Addison could go get it, and Addison just does Addison things. So I saw everything that I needed to see out of McCarthy to say, like, okay, we're fine. Like, he can go into the season and play the position, and I think he can at least manage the game as of right now and just develop into what we want him to be. So I was happy with what I saw out of McCarthy this game.
Yeah, I would say I was mostly happy. I was good. Of course, I think it's just that high expectations coming in. You just want him to light the world on fire, especially after the preseason game he had a year ago. I think if I was going to say my biggest disappointment was just that he didn't get to play one more drive. Like, I wish we'd have seen one more drive out of him. Obviously, I get it. Didn't play for a year. What's up?
Yeah, and O'Connell actually did say after the game, it's not that he wouldn't have put McCarthy out there again. He didn't want to have the rest of the starters on the field.
Yeah. Which
you don't want him out there with the backups.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I get it because you don't want any injuries on that first team offense. At the same time, I'm like, if you're going to bring McCarthy out there, I mean, you have to have the first team. Like, you want him out there with the first team. That's the team he needs to gel with in real game action, anyways. And now I can't imagine that we're going to see him going into the next game. I wish, I doubt it, but it would be nice to just get another drive just to see him just continue to get more he looked very comfortable, but some of those throws were definitely off. Like you said, that Addison one wasn't really on him. He did have someone in his face and stuff. And honestly, that was the fact that he even got that ball out in a place that it was catchable was still really nice to see. And then even though a couple other throws were kind of inaccurate, but the first one to Jordan Addison, I still love to like see him go out to the left and then like kind of do like one of those little jumping throws or whatever. Just something that you don't see every quarterback being able to do. And it just shows you like what JJ McCarthy can be. So that's the biggest gripe obviously everybody has is his accuracy wasn't great in this, but he hasn't played in real game action in a year, and he came out and looked confident. He didn't look scared. He didn't look hesitant, especially with that knee running on fourth and 8 or whatever to get that first down. And it sounds like that was something last year's training camp and maybe some of this year's where he wasn't using his legs in those situations enough, it sounds like. And it's something that I know was something that was really good to see him do in this game because of that. And just being able to I need to take advantage with my legs when I can. And that's a cool thing about JJ McCarthy because he has all the athleticism and everything that you want in your quarterback. But even in college, he didn't really use his legs as much as he probably could. And I would like KOC to kind of, allow him to do that more, even though I know we don't want him to get hurt and things like that. But it does bring a different element to this team in general. But overall, I would say I'm happy with what we saw from JJ McCarthy. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't hoping he'd be a little bit better and a little bit more accurate overall, but you can't complain after a guy has not played as long as he has.
Right, for sure. But again, real game action, just commanded the huddle. That's kind of a big thing of what this game came down to. I mean, finished 4 of 7, 30 yards, 67.6 quarterback rating. Like, you come away with this just being like, okay, he's at least we can go into the season and he's gonna be just fine. So yeah, I mean, I went into this with the expectation you see him play a drive, they would just give him some easy throw-in catches, let him get out of the pocket a little bit and try some things, and they did all that, play action, everything worked. And again, and for him, it's just confidence in the knee, being able to run on that fourth down, being able to stand in there and make some throws. So I saw everything I needed to see to feel comfortable going into the season with him being the unquestioned quarterback one.
Well, especially with what Nick said here. Now you got a ton of reps against the Goods Pats first team defense, which you'll be there. So you'll be able to really see, you'll see that in person. You'll be able to really see how that looks, which will be interesting for next Monday's show. So Casey will actually be at the practice between him and the Patriots. So we'll be able to he'll see Drake May, who is his favorite quarterback of all time, I think. And then, and then how JJ McCarthy does, who sounds like Drake May is looking really good in training camp and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what, how you feel about JJ McCarthy and how he did after that. But I do think this is actually a good idea. If you were going to just give JJ McCarthy a grade, what would you give him?
I think a B- is fair. I like that. B minus. Just again, the inaccuracy, you don't love to see it. Again, I mean, because one of the main complaints, especially from the outside noise, which by the way, I hear Diana Rossini is going to be in Minnesota this week. Oh joy, to spread some more hate on JJ McCarthy and some more rumors. But besides that, the main complaint had been the touch and like all he has is the fastball. Can he get a little bit of touch in there? And you did see some of that with that throw to Lucky Jackson. And again, is it just first game action, a little bit overamped? Probably. But the only real negative that I had with him was just a little bit of inaccuracies. But again, I didn't expect everything to be perfect in his first real game action in over a year. Like this is what I expected to see. Like someone who was a little bit off, but someone who was able to be confident, which I've mentioned before. So I think B minus is probably more towards the B minus range. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Because accuracy is one of the most important things as a quarterback. If you can be accurate, you can win. You can win some games and be an effective quarterback in this league.
Yeah, I mean B minus. I'm with you. Just a little. I mean, definitely was inaccurate, but he's still got the ball catchable areas. It was just that one Lucky Jackson shit throw that was really the one that you're like, all right, I wish he could have had that one back at least. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a guy who hasn't been on the field for a year. Still gets the Vikings in field goal position. Will Reichard hits it, which obviously we can talk about him eventually here because there's a lot of training camp stuff that maybe not completely put to rest during this first preseason game, but at least makes us feel better about it. And we can jump into that. Actually, I mean, we might as well throw the other quarterbacks in here in a second here since we're talking about JJ McCarthy. But being able, like, it's 4th and 8, use your legs, you get a first down, you end up on a drive that gets a field goal. Like, I mean, you're going to, you shouldn't get anything less than like a B minus or a B. If you're able to do that, obviously we're hoping for a little bit more, but am I frozen?
You are, but it corrected itself last time, didn't it? Or did you have to leave? I don't remember.
I don't know. It might have. Anyways, I think it will correct itself. You still hear me?
Yeah.
So, anyways, going into these other quarterbacks, because when I was talking about that, obviously kicking and Will Reichard was something that we're hearing out of training camp that has not been great. Also, even more so, people were hitting the panic button on QB2. Just honestly, all of the backup quarterbacks, they lumped all of it together, even Max Brosmer. What is your thoughts on our quarterback depth going forward after this game? How much better do you feel with Sam Howell's performance, Max Brosmer's performance, just the whole quarterback room right now?
I feel 100% comfortable. Like, look, practice is practice, right? Like, and I get it. Like, it's the only, like, the training camp practices were the only thing that we had to go on as it came to Sam Howell. We've known what Howell's done in the past. I mean, the one season in Washington, where he started, he did. I think he led the league, or he was near the top of the league in passing yards with over 4,000. But he also had a ton of it. I think he had like 20. I think he had almost 20, or might have had 20 or 21 interceptions. And then that last, when he had to come in spots in place of Geno Smith last year against the Packers, that didn't look so good either. So you kind of lump that with what you're hearing through training camp, and the fact that we took so long to find that quarterback too until the draft when we made the trade for him. I understand the concern, but you really did have to step on the brake and be like, hey, let's just see how he does in a game. We got to remember Kevin O'Connell and Josh McCown are his coaches. So there's a good chance that we can see him do it on the field. And just like what we saw with McCarthy, he looked poised and confident, right? Put all the negatives people are saying about him behind, went out onto the field and ended up 11 of 13, 105 yards, 8.1 average, 100.3 quarterback rating. And you saw the arm strength. He has an absolute rocket. You saw he takes chances. Like, that's kind of like that. He's one of those guys that you kind of like as a backup quarterback. He's not afraed just to sling the ball around when he gets opportunities, and that's what he did. He had that deep
KOC's thing.
Right. He had that throw to the right to Lucky Jackson. Lucky Jackson went up and got it. He's putting the ball up for his guys to go get, and that's what you want to see out of your backup. So yeah, I came away with this game thinking like, and I get it. There's still 2 more preseason games. He's going to get more opportunities. But I came away from this game feeling very comfortable with Sam Howell's quarterback too. And again, practice is practice, but when it gets onto the field, that's when things really matter. And he passed that test so far. Mm-hmm. Failed the training camp test. I get that, but I guess this last week of practice he was pretty good. But in this game though, he for now put all those panics to rest, and he's quarterback too.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you. And then just jumping around here because I see a lot of ripened stuff here. And now, I mean, at this point, like, we're rooting for Brosmer to be that quarterback 3.
By
And at this point,
by the way, I called that pre-draft. I called pre-draft that Brosmer could come in and be a really, really good backup quarterback.
Well, and the fact that he ended up on obviously undrafted free agent, but we were even wanting to pull him, pick him in mock drafts in the 7th round, stuff like that. So yeah, everything about, I really did like him. And I obviously, like, as soon as we drafted him, it was like an exciting pick. So it's definitely nice to see him come in and play the way he did. Obviously, and especially, like, I mean, he looks like he's been around for a while. The way he was going through his progressions, I was really impressed by his second touchdown after Fleming didn't come down with the first one. But the second one, he looks to his left, went to his progression, sees Price right in the middle there, throws like a perfect pass there. Really nice to see. Obviously, the highlight today at practice came out, and he's just gaining some steam in general. So really nice to see, because obviously if you can feel like next year, like maybe he's your quarterback too, and you're feeling confident about it, and that's the dream, right? But that just means Ripen's kind of the one or the odd man. I highly doubt you're going to really get anything in him for a trade. I mean, first off, I can't imagine. I don't know. Maybe Max Brosmer plays himself out of even being cut to the practice squad.
I don't think he'd make it through waivers at this point.
Yeah, he might not. Well, we'll see. It's only been one preseason game. So you got
right at this point. That's why I said
yeah. So we'll go at this point. Casey's like, don't you fucking say anything about Max Brosmer. No, so that's the hard part though, is that if he keeps playing like this, yeah, you might not have a choice. But to keep him on your roster, which obviously you want the roster spot, but it's a really good news, especially for Viking fans and Minnesota fans in general, for him to make the squad, or make us have him make this squad.
Yeah, and the good thing about him, right? Like we talk about.
What's going on, Mike?
Because Brett Rippon feels like a Sean Mannion, to where they like him because of his brains. Like he's smart. Like that's why Sean Mannion's coaching right now with the Packers. Like he'd be a good coach. But you don't need to waste the roster spot on him. If you want to keep him on your practice squad, you can go right ahead and do that. Cool, whatever. But I just think Brosmer has the smarts. I mean, he was a 4-year starter, 3 at New Hampshire, and 1 obviously with the Gophers in the Big Ten. And just the way that he plays the game is what you want out of a backup. Like, is there anything about him that really jumps off the page? No, not the most athletic. Doesn't have the biggest arm in the world. But again, he's smart. He reads the defense well. He goes through his progressions, and he goes through them quickly, where Rippon did not. I mean, that's why he took those sacks that he did. But he's able to stand in the pocket, go through his progressions, and that release is quick. And I think even Ben Lieber mentioned it during the Vikings broadcast, is how, he doesn't have that arm strength of a McCarthy, but it's going to get there at about the same time because of how quick that release is. And that's the thing with him. And that's what you really saw when he played with the Gophers. Smart. If he needs, he can be a game managing type backup quarterback who could spot start for a couple games. If you need him to start a whole season right now, is he going to really take you anywhere? Probably not, but he can run your offense at the very least. And that's literally all you can ask for in a backup quarterback to start, but a developmental quarterback who could turn into a long-term backup, really kind of what you're looking at here. So I don't know. And it may just because I'm a Gopher fan, but I thought you heard reports from camp that he was looking good, and it showed up on game day as well. So very happy with how Brosmer looked. And again, if he keeps playing like this, you're not going to be able to cut him because another team will scoop him up and put him on their active roster.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about we're probably not going to see any more J.J. McCarthy going forward. It'll be good to see Sam Howell just continuing to put it to rest that we're fuck that backup quarterback, which would suck, but I feel pretty confident. And then we get to watch Max Brosmer a lot, I think, especially that now with him, that final preseason game doesn't seem such a buzzkill or a game that I don't want to watch really at all, because I'm none of these guys are even going to make the team and things like that. But it's going to be fun to watch him, I think, for sure. But yeah, I know a lot of people are talking about wide receivers in the comments and things like that. I do have a section on here that was specifically for wide receivers, but we can tap into that in general, because obviously Rondale Moore goes down out for season. Someone I was excited to see and felt like he could be, I don't know if you want to call it dark horse for wide receiver 3, because he was drafted higher than all those other guys and stuff like that. But just someone that could had the potential to bring a different element to this team that we don't have. And it sucks to see him go down the way he did. It just sucks. He comes back and literally off of his very first kick return in the very first preseason game. Just super unfortunate. And I already was not super – my reality is I was not super – and same with last year. I was not super confident with going back into wide receiver 3 with Jalen Nailor being the favorite to win the job. And I thought getting Rondale Moore was like, I was like, okay, I like that as a battle. I like him in there as a battle. I like it better than when we came in last year with Brandon Powell and Jalen Nailor. And then you bring in Ty Felton that you pick as a 3rd round pick, which I did think I see Nick Riley say he was impressed with Ty Felton, which obviously Ty Felton as a gunner creates that fumble, was really impressive. I did like that, and you can see his speed, his straight line speed. It's unfortunate the Vikings, we didn't use him the way Maryland does, which is a lot of screens and things like that. And with Rondale Moore down, I'm hoping we see more of those things. And I do like that Ty Felton did get open enough to get a couple catches. Those are positives. The negatives is we are talking about a 3rd round wide receiver at the same time. And maybe we'll see some progression out of him. But of course, like, you know, when you're a 3rd round receiver, you're kind of hoping when you're playing with a bunch of other guys who might not make this team that you were able to like really kind of separate yourself out there. So that's going to be questionable. I mean, at this point, it's like a no-brainer that Jalen Nailor is going to be your wide receiver 3, who's also been having dropping issues. And then Justin Jefferson's injured. Jordan Addison suspended for the first 3 games. Obviously, hopefully Justin Jefferson comes back. And then you have Jalen Nailor there, who did play good for Jordan Addison last year in the beginning of the year. But I know a lot of people are talking about Adam Thielen, which we'd literally have to make a trade for. And then I do see Amari Cooper, which is an interesting one. I mean, I would take him over what we have, but you're going to overpay for him for sure. For
a guy he's washed. In my mind, he's washed.
I don't think he's completely washed.
I mean, he went on Buffalo, who had no other good receivers last year, and he didn't make a dent. I don't know. I'm out on Amari Cooper.
Thielen would be dope, but
yeah, Thielen would be. I don't know. I think. I mean, is there even any steam that Carolina wants to get rid of him? I get they have a lot of young receivers on that team, but I haven't heard any steam that they actually want to move him.
Yeah, because even it's a Vikings narrative, obviously, and of course I'd be down for it. But there is so much that like maybe it wouldn't be crazy for them to do it. But Adam Thielen looked good when he was healthy last season. And I'm assuming like you still have to look at him as the most reliable receiver for Bryce Young on that team until Ted McMillan actually like steps up to prove otherwise. So that's the hard part. I don't really see that happening. Why? I think the Panthers are starting to feel a sense of, I guess, like
Bryce Young might be their guy.
Yeah, like Bryce Young might be their guy. They got Ted, Chuba Hubbard. What's his name is going to be healthy now. What's his name? Running back from last year drafted.
Oh, is he? I thought he tore his ACL again like mid-season last year.
Did he? Jonathan Brooks.
I think he's out again. He re-tore his ACL. He's out again.
I don't know, but the offense in general.
I mean, but then they have that Jalen Coker who played well last year, and they have Xavier Legette over there as well, who was had some plays. But yeah, I mean they have a young receiver room, and I just don't see any. I just don't see any world in which they'd want to get rid of Thielen. I just don't.
That's the hard part. So we'll see. Otherwise, though, there is like Tyler Boyd. Is he available? I thought he was Tennessee.
But again, I mean, but we're talking about these old.
Yeah, but you're talking about wide receiver 3.
Are you though? I mean, if you're not too excited about Nailor, you're kind of talking about wide receiver 2. Well, if we're talking like I'm not confident in Nailor being wide receiver 2, then what are we talking about going up?
I'm not confident in Nailor being a wide receiver 3. I've never been confident in him being wide.
Well, then we should really be going out to get a wide receiver 2 if we're not even confident in him being wide receiver 3.
Well, we should be getting
Tyler Boyd ain't a wide receiver 2 anymore. He wasn't his day.
We need someone that we think can be a better wide receiver 3 than Jalen Nailor.
But then we just have no wide receiver 2.
Well, I mean, I can't expect to go get a wide receiver 2 and then him just become wide receiver 3 once Jordan Addison comes back.
Yeah, I don't know. I just say run with what you got.
I want to upgrade.
You have Justin Jefferson makes up for 2 wide receivers anyway.
I'm down with upgrading at wide receiver 3, and I think Tyler Boyd, I think Amari Cooper, I think all those guys would be an upgrade over Jalen Nailor, who has never proven to be anything in the NFL. So I don't know. That's my opinion. I'm taking Jalen. Once me and Casey get on this Jalen Nailor thing, something about Jalen Nailor. yes, things start popping off. But I'm not confident in him. I do think that's something that we should be looking into to some extent, especially like I don't think you need someone to come in and just be a wide receiver too on this team because you are going to get Addison back, but you need someone that's more reliable and has more reliable hands than Jalen Naylor playing wide receiver too in those first 3 games, I think.
I don't know. I think you just ride with what you got.
And I would take Gabe Davis too.
Yeah, Gabe Davis would be the one guy. I mean, because he actually brings an element to this team that we just don't have without him, really. So
I'll take Cooper. I don't. I don't
know. I'm just kind of meh. It's whatever.
For the right, I don't want to like overpay him, but no, I would take him over Jalen Naylor. Yeah, let's do it. Anyways, let's keep on going here. Enough Jalen Naylor. We might be able to get into it again here a little bit later on here, but. Going on to the next one here, winners and losers of this game. Casey, I guess like just right off the top of your head, who are some of your winners that you like? And I guess some people that you thought could have done better.
Yeah, I mean, I know we kind of had this discussion yesterday before Bleacher Report about, if you had to pick one between like Howell and Brosmer, who won the most. I mean, look, I love me some Brosmer, and I think Brosmer did himself a lot of favors. But if you're asking me which quarterback did themselves the best this game, was the biggest winner, I'm giving it to Sam Howell, just because we had heard good things about Brosmer in camp, and he's a rookie quarterback 3, or quarterback 4 on the depth chart. You're just like, okay, yeah, you're expecting him to have some growing pains, maybe not do too much, but you're hearing the good things. So when he does things, you're like, okay, good, but he's still a rookie. Howell was literally, people were calling for his head at the beginning of last week. Like, get this guy off my team. We need to go look for a new quarterback 2. And he came out in 1 week of practice and 1 game and quieted all those concerns. So my biggest winner in this game has to be Sam Howell, just because, and the Vikings fan base was so adamant about getting a good wide receiver 2. You and I sitting here, like, we're talking way too much about this wide receiver 2 deal. Like, it is what it is. McCarthy's going to be fine. If he gets hurt, we're kind of screwed anyway. And if he's healthy and he struggles, just leave him out there and let him go through his lumps. So I wasn't too concerned about quarterback 2. And my concerns are the same as they were because Howell came in and quieted all those. Again, he has 2 more games still. I get that. But just going off of this game, Howell I think he did himself the most favors of any backup type player on this team. So he's my big winner. I guess outside of that, thinking of some other names. I mean, Will Reichard. Where's Darren? Will Reichard nailing all 4 of his kicks. Longest long of 48 plus both of his extra points, both right down the chute. He's another winner here. Offensively, yeah, I guess offensively, special teams. That's kind of some guys that I highlight there.
Yeah, for me, with Sam Howell, I obviously is a big up there. I think both of them, and Max Brosmer obviously was.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in a battle with Brett Ripon for that number 3 spot, and actually just making a roster. And obviously he made a big jump forward in that direction. It'll be interesting to see who start. I'll be interested to see who starts, but first between him and Ripon in the next preseason game, or who plays first. So that would be an interesting one. Sam Howell at this point, like the biggest thing is at least it just kind of shushes down, like, the media, the us Viking fans and things like that, at least for another week to feel like, okay, like maybe we'll be all right if anything happens to JJ McCarthy. But the biggest winner for me in this entire game, I think, in my opinion, is Xavier Scott. Comes in, another battle between him and Ty Chandler. Has 7 carries for 40 yards and nice carries. I mean, you're seeing wiggle, you're seeing some speed, some burst. You're definitely seeing some strength, something I just really wasn't expecting him to look as good as he did, especially like you saw Ty Chandler and he was just getting eaten up a lot. And you're always wondering, it could be the offensive line and stuff like that. But then you see Xavier Scott in there and it was like, that wasn't even a problem at all. So then you're like, okay, like he just has a leg up on Ty Chandler, I think. And he also had a catch for 11 yards. And we were talking about, really nice catch. And he should have had another one because back to Ripon, like the biggest thing that was that irritated me about him is he took 2 sacks that he did not need to, especially the first one. He had Xavier Scott wide open on an out route for a first down, like 8 yards out. And it looked like he was staring right at him, or at least towards that direction, and just did not see him wide open, and then just took a sack. Otherwise, we would have seen even more from Xavier Scott there.
Yeah.
Offense.
And I do think that does lead into the biggest loser of this game, probably being Ty Chandler.
Chandler.
He was, in my mind, he was a long shot to make the roster anyway. And with the fact that Scott played the way that he did, yeah, Ty Chandler's his time is short here. I think just never really worked out. Like in the screen game, sure, it had a couple nice catches, but yeah, it just never really clicked. Unfortunately, he had a lot of talent coming in. I mean, we saw the highlights, but
yeah,
it didn't work.
I do want to hit on a couple more winners, and it's on the from the wide receiver room. And that's one thing. We did talk about Jalen Naylor, and we're talking about Ty Felton and all that stuff. Actually, we shouldn't even be talking about Ty Felton because it does sound like at this point, Lucky Jackson's ahead of Ty Felton, and he's a player that we do need to talk about because maybe he does take that leap, and you do have a guy that ends up maybe we have a legit wide receiver 3 battle. It doesn't really look like that on surface, but maybe as these preseason games go on, you do see a wide receiver 3 battle between Lucky Jackson and Jalen Naylor, because Lucky Jackson was again a win here. We've been hearing all the noise from training camp about Lucky Jackson all training camp long. Comes in, has 3 receptions for 30 yards. Like you said, that Sam Howell catch. Obviously, he could have had a big catch from JJ McCarthy if he didn't throw it too high. And you just kind of confirmed everything from Lucky Jackson. But another big one is just Jordan Addison in general. Expected to do good. He's Jordan Addison. I love Jordan Addison. And obviously you missed him for the first 3 weeks, so it sucks because JJ McCarthy, the big win, one of the biggest wins, is just that chemistry between JJ McCarthy and Jordan Addison is 100% real. And like everybody and their moms could have came into this game. And who's the first wide receiver to get a reception in this game? And everybody would say Jordan Addison, unless you're just trying to be, cute or whatever. And that's exactly what happened. And not just once, but 3 times in a row. So that connection is real. And that's what kind of sucks. Like, I love that chemistry building between them two, but you really do hope that JJ McCarthy and Justin Jefferson also has that similar chemistry there. And I'm sure Justin all you have to do is throw it up to Justin Jefferson, but
he'll find a way.
JJ McCarthy and Jordan Addison has a stronger chemistry than probably what you'll see from him and Justin.
Yeah. And speaking of the quarterbacks, I do think another winner has to be the entirety of the offensive line. I mean, was there one quarterback this entire game that you felt like was consistently under pressure early? Like, I mean, Rippon had 2 sacks, but also it was because he sat there so long going through his progressions. Yeah. Like, I read books, which is slow. But I mean, like, I thought overall the offensive line gave the quarterbacks plenty of time. They made room in the running game for the running backs that played. So I was happy with the entirety of the offensive line. That's top to bottom. I thought every quarterback, every running back had quarterbacks had time to throw, running backs had some space to run the ball. Like, I thought the offensive line played well. And again, we talked about that. I think the depth is perfectly fine. I think the offensive line depth is probably the best way that we've seen on this team in years.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. For the most part, pretty good. There's a couple of times with JJ McCarthy that I feel like there's more defensive players in the backfield than I'd like to see.
But I do feel like the one where he rolled out to his left was more of a design. In a way. But could have been. Yeah.
But going into some more winners on the other side of the ball, I see in the comments, Gabriel Murphy, his first sack, we're just like, wait, who is that? And it was Gabriel Murphy. And obviously a guy who was an undrafted free agent from last year, who was expected to be like a 4th round pick. I think he ended up not getting picked because of his size. Ends up actually having a couple of solid reps when he did come back during the middle of the season. The Vikings felt so good about him during that he didn't even get on the field. He didn't even get to go play in training camp last year. And we still put him on the pup, and we still wanted to bring him back. And now I can see why coming into this preseason game with 1.5 sacks. And that second one was great. Like, he just didn't stop running. He came from way from the right side of the field, turns up, runs, dives at, I think it was Mertz, right? Mertz.
Yeah.
Feet, brings him down. Bo Richter helps him. So that was really nice. And then 3 pressures on top of that. Another quarterback hit, I believe. Just a hell of a game. Easily, in my opinion, the MVP of the defense. But yeah, I mean, big game by him.
Yeah. Jalen Redmond as well. I mean, kind of in on that. He was the one that initially pushed Mertz out of the pocket. Jalen Redmond had a couple of splash plays. Mainly overall, the defensive interior was very meh. I mean, I think LDR and Taki Taimani did not do themselves any favors. I didn't see anything from them that I was really impressed with. Jalen Redmond was the one that kind of popped the most. And that's a guy that we're kind of hoping can be a long-term option at that in the middle of that defense going forward. And I think he did himself a lot of favors as well. I mean, he was already, he was already in the eyes of the coaching staff as an up-and-coming player. And I think he helped himself in that regard on Saturday.
And I was going to hit up on this. Elijah Williams also looked good. And I mentioned him earlier, had the second highest defensive PFF grade behind Gabriel Murphy, just by a 0.3 of a points. Looked really good there. I think did he have a sack, or was it like really, he just blew up? Like, that's the first time we saw him. He like blew up the line and he just got in the quarterback's face, or did he? Maybe he didn't get a sack. I don't know. It's pretty damn close, though.
No, he did not, but he had 2 quarterback hits.
2 hits and 2 hurries and tackles in this game. He did have 1 missed tackle. I do remember that. So that's the big one here, because one of my predictions, I would say, going into probably after the draft, was that Taki Taimani was going to have a big impact this year. Obviously, this is one preseason game. He was sitting in the 90s overall every preseason game last season. Was one of the worst PFF grades for Saturday's game. But he's like the only big guy, like legit nose tackle type player we had on this team. And now you do have Elijah Williams coming in and also kind of being that big nose tackle type of player. So it's kind of like Taki Taimani kind of has some competition as far as like true nose tackles on this team. And it'll be interesting. That, I don't know, maybe that's like a secret battle happening behind closed doors, or maybe it is continuously, because I expect to see Taki Taimani being on that second team defensive front. And on the first depth chart, as well as being out there on the first drive of the game, which he was not until later. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to be maybe an underrated thing going on there. But he looked good on that side of the ball. Corners, guys that we have to talk about is, I mean, we talked about him already earlier, and that was, one guy we have to talk about. Another guy that's been extremely hyped this entire training camp was Zamiah Vaughn, who ended up with 68.7 defensive grade, but a 69.2 in coverage, 77.9 in tackle. And that's one thing when I watch his highlights coming out of college, was just he can tackle. He can lay big hits, and we saw that in this game. And I think overall he did not disappoint.
And that size, man, he's big.
And that size,
big boy, yeah.
And that size, so very, very solid. And then, of course,
McGlothern flashed a couple plays too. I liked what I saw there.
McGlothern, and then Hallisey, which I know Nick Riley didn't feel the same way. But I'm like, you get 2 interceptions. Maybe they were kind of more towards him or whatever. But I still felt like, I mean, still big W for him. But on top of that, he had 3 pass defenses and 4 tackles. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, and he was targeted 5 times. Did allow 2 receptions, but still. I do think that was. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong player. But yeah, no. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, 3 pass defenses, 2 interceptions. Still a good game in my opinion. And yeah, I mean that's kind of it for winners on my side.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Tyler Batty did have the batted pass that led to the interception. Another undrafted free agent people kind of like, probably a practice squad candidate. But yeah, I mean, I guess kind of the downs on the defense. I mean, Mekhi Blackmon, I was expecting to see a little bit more going against the 2s of the Texans. And again, first game action over here, you got to kind of give him the same treatment as you give McCarthy. I think they still have a high hopes for Blackmon. But again, I mean, he ended up with 5 tackles, 4 solo, but just kind of in this game. Like, it's kind of just whatever. And then who was the other one? I hate to say this, but Dallas Turner. He had a nice tackle, I think, on like the second play of the game. Missed one later on, and then kind of lost his contain on the edge, which allowed the whichever running back that had in there to bounce one outside and have a decent gain. Was expecting to see a little more from Dallas Turner. Obviously, vanilla defense, not putting him in the situations we expect to see him in. And he's out there with all the backups, so it kind of is what it is. But I was hoping to see a little bit more out of him. Kobe King missed a couple of tackles, but again, rookie is what it is. But yeah, I mean, really nothing else of note on the defense. I didn't really think. I mean, I kind of liked what I saw from that Chaz Chambliss. I mean, again, I think he's probably going to be a practice squad guy, but he had a couple explosive plays, aggressive plays. So,
especially from a position that we didn't really see much in this
right,
game.
yeah, and we could use a guy to step up. And I mean, again, is he going to help this year? No, again, probably a practice squad guy, but still nice to see that maybe you got something brewing there that you can develop over the next couple of years.
Yeah. So those are the winners and losers. Let's jump over something we haven't done since last season, and that is the Skol Gauntlet. Jump over here. Let's see. Not to make sure we set this up correctly, because it's confusing sometimes. Boom. And there we go. Wait, that's not the right one, is it? This one. There it is. So anyone who has not seen this, it's been a while. We each get 30 seconds to give our opinion on each one of these. We can't go over. Sometimes I do anyways, but we're not supposed to. We're going to try not to. So today on this list, we got Game Ball, Biggest Losers, JJ Report, Dallas Turner, Quarterback Room, and the Wide Receiver Concern.
All right. I like it. All right. I'm ready to roll whenever you are.
All right. Let's get it. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
To me, my Game Ball goes to Sam Howell. Again, Brosmer right here. I wanted him since the beginning. But again, as I said, Sam Howell did himself the most favors in this game because, again, people this last week were talking about getting rid of him, having to go find a new backup quarterback, doom and gloom over him. And again, it was all practice. This last week of practice looked better, came into this game, as we said, 11 of 13, 105 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, showed off the arm talent, showed off his poise in the pocket. Kevin O'Connell, I mean, you got to remember, Kevin O'Connell's a quarterback, or is the quarterback whisperer. Sam Howell gets my Game Ball this week.
For me, I wanted to go Scott. He looked really impressive, especially in that battle with Ty Chandler, but I got to go to the other side of the ball, and I do have to go with Gabriel Murphy. I mean, he just looked like it's so crazy how the depth that we have on this team at that position. And for him to come out and have that type of game and that type of impact with 1.5 sacks and not just normal sacks, man, he like blew up the right tackle there. Wow. 30 seconds goes by quick. That's it. All right. Keep on here. We'll keep on going. All right. Biggest loser. I'll start this over again. But Gabriel Murphy, stud. Yeah. Anyways, biggest loser.
My biggest loser it's sad to say because it's running back 3, big whoop, but my biggest loser is Ty Chandler. That's mainly because of how well Xavier Scott played. Like, look, we said it coming into this year. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago here, that roster bubble players, Ty Chandler is kind of the first name that comes to mind when you're talking bubble players. And he did himself no favors, and Xavier Scott didn't do him any favors either. It's just all the same stuff we've seen from Ty Chandler. Sure, pass game, he's fine in the receiving game, but as a running back, it's over. The Chandler experiment's done. That 2022 draft, it's over with, man.
And I'm gonna go with Brett Ripon here. Kind of similar situation for quarterback 3. You got Brosmer and you got Ripon. Brosmer really stepped up in comparison. I did not like how Ripon, he just sat in the pocket and got sacked. I mean, both times he got sacked, I'm like, I can literally see guys wide open. I swear you're looking in that direction. So I do have to go Brett Ripon here. And our injuries as well. You got to go injuries here as well.
Yeah. JJ McCarthy report. Look, I mean, we kind of talked about it all day here. When it comes to JJ McCarthy in this game, I saw everything I needed to see. Like, again, trusted the knee, confidence in the pocket, running the offense well. At the very least, JJ McCarthy can come into 2025 and run this team and develop the rest of the skills we need to see him develop. Was he too amped up? I think so. I think that led to a couple of those inaccurate passes, but I'm happy with what I saw.
Yeah, like you said, a little amped up. I mean, I wish he was more accurate. That's why I wish we got one more drive. I think he would have came into his own a little bit there. I am upset that we didn't see any long balls, like at all, from Kevin O'Connell. I think Ripon had like one attempt. Actually, that was really nice. I think maybe it was to Lucky Jacks. I forgot who it was to. Maybe Jashawn Jones, I think it was. But we didn't get to see that. I wanted to see his arm like we did last season or last year. We didn't get the chance to do that. But overall, like the poise, the confidence, like that's ultimately what we really wanted to see in this game from him.
Yeah. And then Dallas Turner, I kind of talked about it in like when I was talking about the losers of this game. I wasn't too happy with what I saw. Again, he had a nice, he shed a block and had a nice tackle early on. Then he missed one later, just a second late, and then lost his contain on the edge, which did lead to a big run. Look, I have high hopes for Dallas Turner. Everything we're hearing from the offseason process makes it sound like he's going to have a breakout year, and I do still expect that. And again, out there with the twos, so you got to kind of take everything with a grain of salt, but would have liked to have seen a little more.
Yeah, and hopefully we still see him a little bit, maybe a little bit going into next game. I want to see more of him. I think he needs to show a little bit more, because the reality is, like, yeah, we want him to take a big step forward, and maybe I'm being extremely premature here, and I don't think this is the case. I do think he's going to have a really good year, and he brings something that everyone else has, but the way Gabriel Murphy looked was really, really, really good, and it's not crazy to say that Gabriel Murphy could take snaps from him.
Yeah, for sure. Quarterback room, I feel much more confident than I did, and that kind of goes back into my game ball. Like, look, JJ McCarthy, we all know, unquestioned starter up at the top. The big question was, is there enough at quarterback 2 and 3 to where you feel comfortable if something were, knock on wood, whatever, to happen to JJ McCarthy, would you feel okay with these other quarterbacks coming in? And just off of this one game, I get it, one preseason game, I feel great knowing that we have Sam Howell and Max Brosmer behind JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see a little bit more. We're going to see some more Sam Howell. I want to see him keep it up. I mean, I didn't see Sam Howell make those bad throws in training camp personally, really, maybe some clips. But how everybody was talking, I was assuming that we were going to see a bad game from him in this one, like we had before with some other backup quarterbacks. But that was not the case. He came in and he showed his arm off. So I'm excited, but I do want to see a little bit more before I'm like super confident. Like, okay, like I feel confident if JJ McCarthy goes down.
Sure. On the wide receiver concern, I mean, yeah, you can definitely say it's concerning, right? I mean, Justin Jefferson, I mean, I think the injury is fine. I mean, I don't think it was ever too severe to begin with. I think he's going to be just fine. But losing Addison those first 3 games, especially like you said, seeing the JJ to Addison connection, it sucks. And then, yeah, you can question, is Jalen Naylor that guy? Because he's been inconsistent since we've got him. Ty Felton still has a long ways to go. No Rondale Moore, who is the most experienced receiver outside of Jefferson and Addison. So, yeah, you can be concerned about the wide receivers for sure, but I say just stick with what you got.
I'm not like super concerned. At the end of the day, you're talking about wide receiver 3 and a guy that jumps in for 3 games. I get it. Like, it sucks that you missed Jordan Addison for 3 games, but it's not the end of the world. We missed him for 2 games last year. Obviously, we ended up being fine. You still have Justin Jefferson out there, so I don't think it's extremely concerned. But I've been itching for a legit wide receiver probably since Jarius Wright was kind of that guy for us. I mean, I guess this is over now, continue into this. Yeah. But that's just the biggest thing is, like, we just have not had a good wide receiver 3, like, forever. KJ Osborne didn't really step up for us when we tried getting him to. Jalen Naylor didn't. I mean, I thought he was up and down last season. Some people thought he did really good, but he did good in the first couple games in place of Addison, and then kind of dropped off. Obviously, with some missing the ball quite a bit, or just dropping the ball a couple times, and then Rondale Moore, I was hoping was going to be a kind of a difference maker, at least bring something else to this team. And then Ty Felton, I mean, at this point, like, even when we drafted him, it felt like a reach. Ty Felton felt like a reach. But no, he kind of did. I mean, he definitely was a reach from most people's opinions, but it's obviously, I know McCarthy really did like him, and we ended up pulling the trigger in the 3rd round, but I don't think he has shown me enough to be like, oh, he's worth a 3rd round pick, even if we saw some promise out of him. We saw promise out of Price. Like, I know Price was brought up, Miles Price, and I mean, he's probably considered like the last guy on this roster in that position, and he outperformed Ty Felton when he was on the field, in my opinion. You're talking about a 3rd round pick.
Yeah. I mean, and I think those first 3 weeks, I think that TJ Hawkinson and Josh Oliver could be very, very busy. And I think having a healthy Hawkinson is going to be huge. I think those guys are going to have to pick up a lot of this. I mean, again, they're not wide receivers. I get that. But I think they're going to have to pick up a lot of the slack of missing a player like Addison for 3 weeks. So
100%.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to kind of see what happens there. And I think, was it Maddie who mentioned earlier, kind of wait to see, or someone mentioned earlier, wait and see who gets cut as we roll into to cuts and stuff in the next couple weeks here. Another thing, as we mentioned at the outset, we are 47 subscribers away from 2,000. So make sure if you're not subscribed, or you know somebody who's not subscribed, tell them to come hit subscribe. Get us to 2,000. Hit like on this video if you haven't already. we're getting close. We're getting up there.
Yep. And another show, I'm still getting unpacking and stuff here and starting to get into the groove of things. So I'm not doing a giveaway today, but for the I got a bunch of orders placed and stuff like that to get some good giveaway stuff for when we do hit 2,000 subscribers. So y'all definitely need to tap in for that. Also, it's nothing I'm going to be promoting. It's just for the people who are always in here. I'm just going to 2,000. I'll show you guys what we're giving away. And then the next stream pop in. And I'm getting like 3 different things. So like we'll get 3 winners for that, which I'm super excited about. First off, I think I missed some people in here because we had Gary in here right here. My guy, welcome in, Gary. I also see my dude Vocal Vike in the building, hashtag Skolfest, and which is a perfect time to bring this up like we do every show and need to continue to do every show up until Skolfest, which is going to be crazy this year. It's going to be crazy. Like we having these meetings, and every time I leave these meetings, it's like, oh shit, we might be on to something here with this Skolfest. And I feel like the hype is real. And obviously September 13th, home opener, Saturday, September 13th, between 6 and 10 at Crooked Pint in US Bank Stadium, where there'll be a DJ, other games. We have like a whole plan set up, beer chugging contest that needs to be talked about, all that great stuff. And there will be someone there to make merch for everybody there. But if you don't want to wait or you're not going to make it to Skolfest, we have made a sponsorship deal as a collective. SK and Rap, which would I guess Purple Parlor as well, made a sponsorship deal with them, and they're going to really, really, really hook it up with us to make apparel and other merchandise, hats, everything that you want. All you have to do is go in that description below, click that link, go check it out. Actually, you know what? Rap did bring this thing up. I'll bring it up myself. And I'm going to throw it into the chat as well. Let me see here. I'm going to drop that in here actually first. So definitely go check this out because it's good deals. Oops. All right, here we go. Let me drop this in here in the comments too. There we go. We good. Okay. Yeah, Skolfest stuff. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies. T-shirts $25, hoodies $30. I mean, you can't even go buy a regular hoodie for $30, let alone a Skolfest hoodie. These hats with the Skol, it's a Skolfest, it's a leather. It's leather logo on the hat, which is sick. And these are nasty. $20 for a hat with Skol. I mean, cheap, in my opinion. And so if anybody's not making Skolfest, or if they want to buy their stuff early, obviously we're going to have people there and you'll be able to buy it as you're there as well. But you should definitely go check this website out and go buy them early, man, because I know we all did. We already got some. Hopefully, we can wear some of this before we actually get there, but I'm not sure if we'll make that in time. But definitely some cool stuff. So everybody in here, link below, actually putting it out here. Go check it out. At least go check it out. I'm showing you right now, but go check it out again. Why not? Let's go. We'll have to get some merch since I won't be able to make it this year. Facts. Dude, get it, because every year is going to be a little bit different. Like, we're never going to have, I don't even know if we'll have the same logo. We'll see, but it's going to be different. We might not have that same exact one again. So I do think if you're going to buy one, like, get one. And they're sick. I mean, I just showed you to them, but they're sick. Like, I'm so excited. Like, the way the logo looks on all of that is awesome. So definitely. And it's, yeah, listen to Gary. Great quality and price. Like, I'm telling you, you can't go to the store and get a $30 hoodie.
And you are supporting a local Minnesota business up near St. Cloud. Big for them, obviously. If you guys, you're helping everybody when you go up and purchase that,
including us. You're helping us. You're helping them. Like, obviously, sponsorship. We get a part of it as well. On top of it, obviously, we're all Skolfest. But yeah, the big thing just to be completely transparent here, like, this deal that we have made with them, I mean, so far I can't imagine like a better first sponsorship type deal than we have with them. They're just so excited to work with us, which is really cool to see, especially how much work we all put into Skullfest. And it's mutual on our part. You know, we figured out the problem that we had with wanting merch and Skullfest merch, and they came in and kind of did that for us. So it kind of just helps out all of us here buying this Skullfest stuff here. And then, of course, you know, any money that we make from this honestly goes right back into Skullfest to making it better every single year. So it just helps us, everybody. So definitely, y'all have to get that. You mentioned the Yeti mugs, and I know are they gonna put that on there? The Yeti and tumblers are way cool, dude. They are. I don't have a picture of them, do I? I maybe could here. Let me see.
Pull one up from the WhatsApp, can't you?
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to show you. These are nasty. Which Gary, our guy, went out and bought us all one of these tumblers, and they are so sick. Let me see if I can find. Oh yeah, all right. These are awesome, and I don't know. Maybe we should tell them to put them on the website. I don't know. Maybe, probably. How do I save this thing? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'll bring it up. It's gonna. I don't know how it's gonna look on the screen, but I'll do it anyways. Image file. Right here. Look at these things. Wait, why is it not popping up here? Oh, saved it to the wrong thing. There we go. No, I didn't. What's going on here? All right, I'll just go like this. I'll just do this. It's easier. All right, check these out. Oops. These are sick. So hopefully we'll have to try to get these on there as well. Did my camera die again?
It did. Yeah.
It did.
This whole. Hey, it's preseason for us too. Okay.
Preseason for us
over here as well.
Well, I guess I'm off the screen for the rest of the show, so apologize to everybody, but no, these are awesome. So we can check these out too. But like I said, like you can get winter hats, $20, hoodies, $30. I mean, good deals there. Definitely go get that. We'll get these on the website as well, and you'll have to grab one of these too. But dude, these are awesome. These are awesome and affordable. Like you could just save money by shopping Skullfest than just going to a store and buying shit, you know? But I got the link. Let me drop the link one more time in here if you all are interested. I mean, hopefully y'all just come to Skullfest and you can get one there, or you want to show up in one. That'd be great too.
Absolutely. But anyway, I think since the camera for Jamie has died, probably be a good time to end this thing. But yeah, preseason week 1, Vikings 1-0. It'll be. I mean, again, I don't expect many if any starters to play kind of going into this next week. But joint practice should be fun. Hopefully, looks like there might be some rain in the forecast for Thursday. Hopefully that goes away so I can enjoy that and let you guys know what I see the following Monday. But yeah, we'll be back next Monday talking about the following preseason game. Jamie, anything else before we sign off?
That's it.
All right, awesome. Have a great rest of your week. See you guys next Monday.
Let's go Vikes.